Hey, what's up? It's Kayla back with week number 8 of the Rutgers Draft League, season number 6. I don't know why I feel long pauses. I'm not going to do any editing. I just want to test it out. I want to see how it goes. Unfortunately, I will have to do a little bit of editing actually. I lied. I'll have to bleep out the names, of course, but besides from that, I don't want to edit too much down because last time I edited the video for week 6. I felt like I cut a good amount out of it, but maybe too much out of it. So I don't want to make that mistake again. But we have week number 8. Very impactful week. I didn't do power rankings, so unfortunately I'm not going to have the rankings up. But I will tell you how each team finished, what each team was looking for in this game. Obviously every team wants to win, but what were the stakes? But without further ado, we have a very interesting first battle. This was pretty much a win and in type game, at least for the Luxio Livy's Legion. If they won, I believe they were pretty much locked in for top bracket. Or I don't know. I think they were locked in for playoff. Or oh my god, I'm just messing up my words. I think they were locked in to probably get a spot. They probably had a 70-80% chance to get a spot. If they won, they were in. If they didn't, they had to get a little bit lucky. And on the other side of the things, Tokyo Pachirus, I believe, were in a different boat because of their differential. They were pretty much just guaranteed. As long as a lot of teams ended up losing, then they would be fine. They finished the season with, before this game, I think they were like plus 11, plus 10 differential, and they were 4-3, so they were absolutely fine. They were probably going to make it anyways, but they could further get up the ladder, get a better seed, which obviously matters a lot. So, with that all being said, let's move to the battle. Very interesting team compositions on both sides. I'm actually going to bring up both rosters. I'm just going to try and edit, not metagame, but just see what could have been brought, what shouldn't have been brought. On the Luxio side, I don't really have too many complaints besides no Star Raptor, but I get it because you have Rhyperior and Weezing. Maybe you could have done some kind of goofy set, but I get it. I get not bringing that. Obviously, no, Luxio is fine with me. Persian, I think, could have been a little bit interesting just because of the Mimikyu matchup. I know it's weak to Fairy, but I wouldn't hate it. I think Toxtricity's fine. I think Sen's just fine. I think they brought probably the best team they could have brought. And on the other side of things, we have the Tokyo Pachirisus, and they had a very, very interesting team. I think Spiritomb makes a lot of sense. Spiritomb should have probably came over, I would say, Mimikyu. And Typhlosion, obviously, I don't think is a good bring, so that's fine. And then Tauros Paldea Aqua, I don't really understand why that didn't come. I guess you're afraid of the ghost types and the water types, but I feel like you could have at least brought it to maybe force some switches. Maybe you bring it in, it forces Sinistra in, so you double into Articuno, or you double into just stuff like that. But I get it. I get not bringing it. I think both teams brought pretty well rosters. I don't want to commentate too much. I want to actually get into the battle and do it. So we see rocks. We see obviously this is going for a spin. Are we gonna see? We're just gonna see an over here. And we're just not gonna see Terra, which very interesting turn 1. I don't really understand staying in there, but maybe that's just because I'm used to Cyclozar being special, so that's fine. Terra Water, see, that's what I don't get, is you're gonna Terra Water this, then why not just go into why not just bring Tauros Paldea Aqua? That to me is like a little, I don't know how I feel about Terra Water, but no Tauros Paldea Aqua. This could have been a different set possibly, but we're gonna see this do some stuff, and it's gonna have to switch. Mashagacha probably gonna burn. I lied. Unless burn goes second, which would be funny. Pain Split is fine. You're gonna get what, 3%. T-Spike, I like T-Spike because it can force Toxtricity. You can make it a pretty neat double if you want to. Superior is cool. That is insanely no damage. That's pretty funny. Rock Blast is an interesting move to bring against Stamina Mudsdale. I would love to know why that was necessarily brought, but it's just going to get stamina boost. It's leftovers, so that's funny that I got all 5, but I feel like you're in a really good position with Mudsdale. If you have body press, it seems pretty good, but clearly it did not have body press, so that's pretty unfortunate. Toxtricity super free here. You could just do whatever. I love that double. I would have loved to seen a better Toxtricity set just because Rhyperior is such a annoying mon. I would have loved to seen it. Knockoff obviously doesn't have an item, so that's good. Machigacha burn. No. Draco is gonna. Oh my god, that was nothing. I forget that this mon is. Or no, it's not specially bulky, right? That's Poltergeist. Wheezing comes in. It's gonna die. That's a pretty unfortunate miss. But I don't under. That's insane. Willow, I think, is fair. You want to get chip on this. Obviously, you can't kill yet, but if you can get it really low, that would be great. We see EQ come out again, so we're just going to skip a little bit. Vaporeon on a freeze dry, it dies. Freeze dry again, it gets the freeze. Citrus, and it's solid, so now it can't break out. So now that's pretty unfortunate. And now Jolteon can come in, set up the rain if it has Weather Ball. I don't think it dies, but it does a shit ton. You get the stamina boost. Roar is insane. I don't know why you just click EQ and try and get it down. I don't really know what that does. Does this kill too? Oh my god. So it takes unnecessary chip. Calm Mind is extremely free. I still feel like they're in a very good position. I don't know what takes down Sinistcha on this team besides crit Mimikyu or something. Machigacha is gonna kill though. Destiny Bond, so we do this. I did see this battle live. It's just been a minute since I've seen it, so pardon me, but during the battle I was also very confused by this turn of events. I don't think it's here where I'm confused, but we see Shadow Claw come out. We see this come out, Strength Sap. Cool, fine, you can Machigacha and get your kill. And then it's Cuss Stab. But I don't understand this. Why just take the kill? Take the kill, alright? This is, in chess, this is what I hear a ton of people call a trade, right? It's take. Just do that. Just trade. I get you have Toxtricity Frozen, which is not great. I don't know what the Samurott set is, but I don't know. I think you're fine. Just take the trade. Just take the trade. The game looks very much over. Like Jolteon. Okay. Maybe, you know what, there, I don't think that was a good play. I don't think trading was a good play there. Here, trade. You absolutely have to trade. Because now you're in a situation where, yes, you have a frozen Toxtricity, which is like, I don't know how I feel about that. Let's say you get the 50-50 right? And you just click, right here you click Shadow Ball, and this comes in. You win the game. You win the game. As simple as that. And the other aspect is if this kills, right? If this gets a Shadow Claw crit is worst case scenario. But let's disregard that for now. Destiny Bond. If it's a trade, you win the 1v1. You have Samurott, you have Toxtricity, which I'm gonna assume is gonna thaw, or at the very least you can sack, and if need be, it's just, I don't know, you're in a very solid position. You don't need to play the 50-50 because you're just inviting randomness into the equation, right? Look how many Shadow Claws. They've burned through 8. They're bound to crit. You are just opening the door for a crit. You need to trade. Trade. You can't just... There it is. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Toxtricity, I guess on the Destiny Bond, fair enough, but then why would you... Fine. Shadow Claw. Crit. It was bound to happen, but you were okay. So if you were faster here, why double? Why double? I don't understand. Grass-Knot's gonna do 39. Fair enough, right? We're gonna play this 50-50 endgame. Never mind, because you're just dead. I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't in the cards, right? Maybe you just... But you have to take a chance. You can't just play a 50-50 game and just expect it to eventually... What? You're waiting for a Destiny Bond? They know how many Destiny Bonds they have to... I don't know. Just interesting game. Big win for the Tokyo Pachirisus. They are going to lock up the 5th seed. And for your Lexio's Living Legion, they finished as the 9. So they barely made play-ins. They were one, as we will see, one loss away, or one big win away from missing postseason. So up next we have a game that really doesn't matter. It's just a game that is here. In my personal opinion, maybe somebody has disagreements, but this was mainly for a bit of seeding. But in the grand scheme of things, both teams were already locked in for play-ins, especially with the forfeits that happened that we will be going over eventually. But both teams were locked. This is mainly playing for top 5 or top 6 seeds. My bad. In this, you have the Cincinnati Willows, who are on the opposite side, and you have the Coney Cats, who are on the bottom side. I've given a lot of shit to Gramble. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a Gramble supporter. I think there's some flaws in his game. I don't believe in him as a Pokemon. I love the aesthetics of this team. I don't know if I commented it before the game started. Oh my god, before the game started. I don't know if I commented before the game started or after the game started, but I love this aesthetic. It's so good. On the other side, we have some transactions. I'm not going to be covering transactions anymore, but there were a couple. One of them was Tauros, and oh my gosh, Tauros, Spidops, and Rotom for Rotom Fan and Thwacky. So late game, my thing behind it was I want to be preparing for the top teams. I don't really like flying types or fighting types. I want to get my coverage there, and that is why I did that. This is not, spoiler alert, this is not the team I'm going to be running for playoffs next week, technically. Next week for me, because I'm filming this very late. But very interesting, very interesting. Let's just go. So we have a Gramble lead. I'm fine with Trailblaze here. I'm going to mainly go on my side because it's a lot easier for me, but my game plan is just get rocks up and then just start doing things. So Trailblaze, I am, I think, bulky with lefties. Here, I should have probably played a little bit better, but I just Terra Fairy Ironhead because I want Gramble gone. I didn't like its matchup against me. That's insane. Belly Drum Slowbro was really funny and quick. I am unaware, so 26 crit is hilarious. Here, I probably should have made a prediction, I think. Or no, I like Recover. Here, I should have went to Tauros. That's fine. We're going to Trailblaze. Ironhead is pretty free. I could predict maybe Gligar coming in. Gligar does come in. And I just Ironhead. Unfortunately, rocks are insanely free. And T-Spikes are insanely free. I believe this is Levitate, so I actually can't clear them, and I don't have Defog, so bit of an issue. But we get to Flamethrower, we get to do some damage, and Tidy Up is gonna remove it, which is pretty funny. But I have a Toxic, and I can just double, get rid of Intimidate, Population Bomb. I'm gonna skip it, but it kills, which is just insane. And then I was not playing very smart. I just went Armorage because I was like, Armorage seems like a good play. I should have just went straight into this guy, but instead I just sacked it into Sucker Punch. Hydrapple. Weezinglar comes out on a Rapid Spin, which is something. Flamethrower is almost gonna get the kill, but it doesn't, which is so bad. I should have just Strange Stream. But this is AV, this was made, or not AV, but Max Bedef. This is all made for this mon, so I was perfectly okay with trading, which happens. This comes in, it is Terra Blast, which I was expecting. This should blow it up though, so that's great. And it's a 2v3. This comes in and it has Power Whip, which I believe I went for this turn, because I was like, sucker doesn't matter. I had Yachi, and Power Whip kills. Yes, physical Hydrapple game. I thought I had a really insane matchup. Sucker Punch, unfortunately, is not a kill, so maybe I could have doubled there, maybe I could have done something, but this just comes in, Surf, and Gramble has Trailblaze, so that is going to wrap things up. There. So, unfortunate loss for your Cincinnati Willows, but at this point it was all fucked up, so I figured if I lose, it's the worst that could happen. I slip into play-ins. I wasn't really worried. I almost did slip into play-ins, but luckily finished as the 6th seed, and the Coney Cats finished as the 2 seed. And I believe, did they finish as the 2 seed? Hold on. Are we holding? Let me just double check. They did. They finished as the 3 seed, not the 2 seed. Why did they finish as the 3 seed? Wow, what a... Thank you. Great, fantastic question. It's because of, I believe, they lost against the 2 seed, who I believe didn't play this week, so 2 seed is going to be... Oh my god. The California Crooks. 2 seed is going to be California Crooks, and California Crooks, they are tied for differential, but California Crooks has the matchup won against them, so that is the tiebreaker. So This will be a rematch, and I have prepped a completely different team, so no physical hydropple spoilers for when that happens, but really fun. I was really happy to bring physical hydropple because it was something I kind of did a little bit. I had Sucker Punch for 1 week versus Typhlosion Hisui, but it wasn't something I ever committed to. But when I looked at this team, I'm like, what actually beats this one? So we got to see it a little bit. Unfortunately, if I would have loved Thwacky this matchup because I would have totally ran Grassy Glide with it, and I feel like Thwacky looks so good into this team. But we should be able to run it back, so that would be great. Moving on. We have by far one of the most interesting matchups just based on the two teams alone. They are entering at very different circumstances. You have the Texas, who I believe heading into this were hovering around 4-3, and they needed a win to pretty much secure. If they lose, they might have a chance. I don't know what their differential was, but they might have a chance to get in. And on the other side, we have a team that we know very well, the Kansas Klekis, on a 3-game skid heading into this game, and they desperately need to win one to at least secure a spot. And I believe if they lose, they're still pretty much guaranteed to get in, but it will be a lot more difficult, a lot more difficult to really make it in. So with that being said, let's get straight into the match. I believe no transactions were made on either side. These are normal teams. So let's get into it. And I will be skipping a lot because, as you will see, this game will be over 100 turns. That is a quick spoiler. So we see Spikes, we see Houndstone, we see CC. Pax is going to take damage. Is this offense? No. I was like, is this offensive Houndstone? Yeah, no. Probably not. Baneful Bunker. On Switcheroo, what's the item? What's the item? Toys Band! Okay, I fuck with that, I think that's a good play. If you have Rocks, that's a good play. Soft Boiled, I think that's fine. Toxic Spikes is a problem because they don't really have removal. That's a very solid play. So last move, possibly Surf, question mark? T-Spikes, Baneful Bunker, Toxic. And on the sides, Rock, Soft Boiled, Heal Bell. We see a double, and it's boots, so that's interesting. Aura Wheel is going to not be electric, so that is kind of unfortunate. Rapid Spin comes out, clears hazards, but it's gonna die to play rough, so hazards can go right back up eventually. This is gonna, oh my god, 18% is wild. We see Rocks go right back up. Oh my god, we see Throat Chop come out. It's gonna do barely anything. Rotom Heat gets not whisked. We see double to Blissey. We see Iron Leaves come in. Seismic Toss, double to Houndstone. It's going to take nothing. We're going to see a Pain Split come out on Pex. Now we're going to see Poltergeist. Toxic. Vascular Legion Female comes in. Heal Bell, Surf. Soft Boiled. Seismic Toss. Surfs. Oh my god. Seismic Toss. Energy Ball is going to take nothing. Spikes, I think that's fine. Shadow Ball. We see Sunny Day come out, looking to end the game. Again, we have 100 turns left. Side Shock is going to kill on the Terra Fighting. It's going to kill the Rotom. And we see a Protect come out, so it can't kill the Pex yet. We see double to Iron Leaves. This should kill whatever this goes for. Side Shock. Perfect. We see Blissey come back out. And I am going to skip through some of those turns because they are just Surf nothing plays. So Agility comes out, Surf, we are going to see Spin. We're going to see Recover. I forgot this had a Heal Bell, that's why it's not Toxic anymore, that's cool. Agility, and here comes the fun part of things. So we see this, we see Shadow Ball. I'm surprised it honestly stayed in. Avalanche is going to come out, back to Blissey, 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 Blissey. This is peak gaming. So if you're curious, they are stalling out turns to get this dead, and this. Once this leaves the field, they could honestly go Blastoise, Shell Smash, win the game. They don't have to Shell Smash either. And on the other side of things, that's pretty much it. I think it might have been a roll, but if you're wondering how long this battle took as we watched the last couple turns of the Stallfest happen, this battle took approximately 3,381 seconds. Do you want to know how many minutes that is? Do you want to know how many minutes that is? 56. 56. If you're curious, the match I had with Coney Cats, we started that battle, I believe, turn 60, turn 70 of this match, and we finished by right around here. So, very long game. Very, very long game. That doesn't really matter too much. EQ comes out, not gonna kill. I don't, I'm not gonna lie, I think Shell Smash was, no, I keep going back and forth, but Shell Smash was not the play. If you get the 30% drop, then obviously something like that could happen and you just lose. So, big clutch up, and we are going to see the conclusion because this has literally no attacking move. So can we just end the game? End the game! Holy crap! Oh my god, 172 turns. What a freaking game. If you're curious where this puts everyone in the standings, Kansas Huskies, who have been bounced around as the top team, second best team, third best team, they're going to finish as the 7th best team. They're going to be in the play-in up against Luxio's Livy Legion. And for the Texas Pexas, they do miss the playoffs. They had -1 differential, and Luxio's Livy Legion had +2. They finished, Texas Pexas finished, I believe, as the 12th seed. Yep. So they barely missed playoffs, or at least top bracket, I should say. Everyone makes playoffs, but it's really just top bracket and bottom bracket, because that way everyone can then play. I'm mainly going to be covering I am pretty much only going to be covering top bracket unless we get to bottom bracket finals. Then I will be covering that finals because it's finals. Why not? But we'll see on the top bracket. We'll see who gets in from there. So next up, second to last game. Like I said, there's only a couple of games this week. We have the Ceaseless Ledge, head by Vishal, who has been covering for me, and I think a ton, because without him I probably could not have gotten the amount of episodes that I've gotten out. And that's saying a lot because I haven't gotten a lot out. So thanks to him, and he will be taking on the New Jersey Jellicents. It's been a interesting year for both these teams. I think I had them in reverse spots. I thought the New Jersey Jellicents were going to be really good, and I thought oh my god, the Ceaseless Ledge were going to be a kind of mid team, kind of they could get something going. Complete opposite. This team was spectacular, and I would say was pretty mid. I don't think their record really indicates, I think they're a little bit better than some of the teams, in the playoffs, and that missed the playoffs. I think they should have performed a lot better. But that being said, we have this matchup. Pretty crazy. This is a pretty crazy name. But we're gonna Rocks traded, and then hard Driftbloom into body press. Good play. Sub ? Volt Swish. Weakness policy ? The ante comes in on an what is this defensive? Crap. Registeel on. What are these screens, man? What are these screens? Hurricane. I don't really get the Hurricane unless this is not competitive. That is insane to not run competitive this match. I do not understand that. Okay. We have press, we have earth power, we have spin. This comes in on a body press. Good play. You can just not take the kill, I guess. That is pretty cool. You don't even sub. Whatever. This comes in agility. It's okay. This thing is uber strong. Life orb sharpness is insane. It quite literally kills this whole team. And yeah, that's that. This game actually matter for seeding a good amount because NJ Jellicent is the 17th best team. But Ceaseless Edge locks up the #1 seed. If they lost this game, and let's say it was an 0-5, or let's say it's an 0-1, I mean, I would have been the 6th seed. So I thought it would be better if NJ Jellicent won this game for me personally, but Ceaseless Ledge was really what we needed, and it did happen. So I'm really happy about that, and we're gonna see I love Mr. Hands. We're gonna see Craw. We're gonna see Rotom, and we're gonna see my guy Thwacky. We're gonna see some really cool mons. I'm really rooting for this team. We're in the opposite side of bracket, so I have nothing bad to say about them. So moving on to the final game. Like I said, not many games. We have NJMS Pokemon up against the Bug Army. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have been here and you have been watching and you have been enjoying the content, you know that the Bug Army is right now I believe, 2-0 in the last 2 games. They have been on a tear. They are on a revenge tour, and no matter who you are, they're gonna take you. They're gonna take you to school. They're gonna mess everything up, and it's been really fun to watch this team and to watch some of the development, because I think, well, yes, some of the opponents have been and some of the play against them has been because they're for style points. Way too many style points. I get it. Style points is great, but we could tone it down a little bit. But this is a big matchup because NJMS Pokemon, I believe, needed a 3-0 or higher to at least tie. And from there, NJMS would have had to gone against Luxio's Livy Legion for a tiebreaker to get into play-ins. It would have been amazing. It would have been cool. It would have been peak. But obviously, speaking in kind of like, it didn't happen. It didn't. But we got a really good match. I love how it just doesn't work. But we see Magnezone, which has Magnapull. Doesn't really matter. This one could just switch. We have Slap Cannon is crazy to just go for it twice. It finally lands. And this is going to get paired into Spin, into Screamtail, into Rocks, into Wish. Judgment, we actually see an attacking Arceus Bug. Hallelujah. Toxic is interesting with, Zapcon. But we see Ariados here with possible Sucker Punch potential. Knockoff doing that much is insane. But I believe, or no, it's not Boots. So it could be, Spin is, I don't know what Spin really does, because, never mind, I lied, I get what Spin does now. Healing Wish is insane. It brings an Ariados. And it's Ez, which is insane. Knockoff on the Focus Sash. And it's gonna get multiple ST, so it's gonna pick up a kill. Okay, well, it picks up that. Not Liquid Ooze, so Clear Body, that is very interesting. And this is gonna miss the Rock, which actually matters a ton. And that misses too. And with that, it doesn't matter what happens next, because NJMS Pokemon has been eliminated. I meant 4-0. They're gonna fit this with a 3-0 or a 2-0. Did not matter. And by not matter, I mean didn't matter. But they are going to finish with a 2-0 and miss the playoffs by a differential point. I believe they did not play each other. That's why I'm saying all this. But they would have had to go into a match. So very, very interesting. NJMS, like I said, finishes as the 11th, and the Bug Army finishes at a very respectable, very low 18. But with how the final 3 games went, I think you can't ask for a better season. I mean, insane work to go in and to pick up kills, just or to get 2 wins, 2 huge wins that put a playoff out of contention. And to playoff team, one of the best teams in the league, in play-in, and then the final week to kick a team out of playoff contention is insane. That's insane. So I'm really happy with the Bug Army. I complete 180. I think they're the best team in the league, and they should have made play-in, because let's just say, I mean, you have my beef with the 4 seed. You guys know my beef with Hero Hunters, who finished as the 4 seed, and I just cannot. I don't like them. I don't vibe with the team. I think the Bug Army smokes them. Not even close. I think they've played each other, but the Bug Army would win. It would win, and it wouldn't be close. With that being said, here's how the playoffs look heading into the heading into play-ins, and then heading into playoffs. At the number 1 seed, as I've already said. Actually, I've already said, I think, the top 4 and top 7 now. Lisa Cerulege at the 1 seed. We have the Coney Cats at, oh my god, we have the California Crooks at the 2 seed, and then the Coney Cats at the 3 seed. We have the Hero Hunters at the 4 seed. Those teams are all 6-win teams. We have the Tokyo Pachirisus at the 5th seed. We have your Cincinnati Willows at the 6th seed. We have your Kansas Klefkis as the 7th seed. And we have the Steamy Sunfists, who I've said is one of the best teams in the league, as an 8th seed. And after all remaining teams, we'll have 4 wins, so those were the 5-win teams. At the 9th seed, we have Attack on Titan, who I've said is very solid. And at the 10th seed, we have the Luxios Libby Legion. Those are all your playoff in quotation marks teams. We've already some of the plans. I was thinking about just revealing that, but I figured let's just, save another video. Or maybe we will save that for the first week of playoffs. So once the first week of playoffs concludes, I will include the plans into that, and we'll go from there. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe. I'm so sorry about all the delays that have been happening with this channel. I've just busy and I haven't found enough time to be uploading, and for that I very much apologize. I need to be better at that, and I don't really have a good excuse for why. So I'm going to be working on that, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. Have a great one, and peace.